Hello, we are live. We are live, we're live, we're live. Okay. Come on in, come on in. I'm going to wait till you come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm waiting for you to come on in. Okay. I am here waiting for you to come in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. You know how we do here. We give a couple minutes for people to come on in. This discussion is not for everyone. This is for people who have critical thinking skills. This is for people who want fact over fiction. Yes, I do speak about a spider because that's what they worship. Yes, I do speak about a serpent because that's who they worship. And that's the next video. After this series, I'm basically wrapping up this series today. And after this series, we're going to go into the proof of the serpent that they worship. We're going to show you proof. We're going to show you the proof. We're going to show you the proof of the serpent they worship. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My channel and the information I bring, even though I do speak about occult or hidden things, I always bring you evidence, whether it's historical evidence, whether it's statistical evidence, whether it's news reports, and I lay out the facts. I do not try to mind, control, or hive my listeners. There's a big difference between me and these so-called truthers. You never hear me take sides with any political movement, none. You never hear me take sides with any color, because I tell people I want people to judge me on what I do. So I treat people the same. Today, we are going to blast a major aspect of mind control that they are using to stir up the American public, that will cause Americans, I'm talking about Americans as America as we know it, that will cause native born Americans, let me say people born in the United States who are not naturalized citizens, that's going to cause them harm, major harm in the long run. This truther community is dangerous. They are Decepticons, and they are given the algorithms. And people like myself who do not have algorithmic domination, we are relegated to a few people while the Decepticons have reach. Anyone who has a major reach with the algorithm is bought and sold. You have to come to this conclusion. You have to. A real truther, a person who's telling you the truth that is unbiased, is not getting algorithmic dominance. Okay? So before we get started, we're going to do a quick roll call. Okay, Zuri. Zuri, okay, I thought you told me not to send you any more messages, so I deleted you. I'll just add you back. Occult, welcome Connor, welcome Linda, Esclamonde, Shelly, Divine, Andrea, Jenny, Patrick, Barbara, Takaya. Welcome, Takaya. Okay, Linda, Takaya. Email me. I told you, email me like 500 times in my email. Takaya, email me so and we can talk about that. Okay, before we get started. This Friday, we're doing a movie decode. Okay, there are streaming places where you can stream the movie. Okay, so you can just go look up, streaming day shift. Okay. And Linda, I mentioned Linda. Linda. Did I mention you? Hold on. Yes, I did. I did mention Linda. Okay, welcome. Okay, Friday is group training. Group training, it has always been and will forever be 7 to 9 unless I tell you. 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. This is the link. You know how we do for group training. It's tiered. If you have the $30, pay it. If you have something, pay something. If you have nothing, just email me and say, hey, Renetta, I want to be a part of it. But this time I need you to put skin in the game, right? Group training is changing now. What I need to know is I need to know that people are spiritually aware, they're emotionally intelligent, and they can discern the times and they can make proper decisions. So one of our first movie decode is day shift. Day shift. The rules are you watch the movie, you take notes, you join us on Friday for riveting discussion about key components in the movie that's telling us where they're taking society. So you don't just watch the movie for entertainment, you're watching the movie as education. So, like I said, Friday, we are going to get together and we are going to decode day shift. I am so sorry. Day shift is a little bit gory, but it is worth it. You got to pay attention to everything. So, you got to take notes. You got to educate yourself about what they're saying in the movie and pay attention to the names of the characters. Fox, dog. Fox is a type of dog. The next one is a dog. Okay, we know the dog clan is Anubis. Thank you, Linda. Linda said day shift is free on YouTube. Thank you, Linda, for your hard work. Okay, I'm so sorry. Day shift is a little bit gory. I'm really sorry, but it trust me, it was given to me. I sat through it. I went through it. It is worth it. It is worth it. Okay, and this is training. All right, guys. So thank you for that. I hope to see everyone on Friday. Okay. All right. So the next thing is, before we get started, really quick, we got a lot of things to do. Thank you for that, Linda. Day shift is free on YouTube, right? The next thing is, if you have not emailed me already, please email me. And this is my email. Okay. Only if you have not emailed me. We have a lot of information to cover. And we are going to get started. It's imperative that we get started, okay? All right, so we're gonna go down and we're gonna get started here, okay? Full screen mode. All right, so where did we leave off? Where did we leave off? We left off with the investment in this new AI power plant in Texas. And we left off educating you about the main component in the AI to bring the AI to super intelligence are semiconductors, and that they shifted. There was a silent shift in the tech industry to classify melanin as technology as opposed to melanin as biology. And the reclassification now puts melanin under technology. We went over before, we educated each other in terms of melanin by race. White have 25% melanin, brown 74%, and dark brown people up to 78%. This classification is very important for every human being on earth, and not because Caucasians have less melanin does that mean that their body has not been reclassified as technology. Okay, Linda K. Martin has a question for you, okay? This is very important for every human on earth because there are these crying wolves in the alternative media who are crying every day saying they're coming to kill the white race. But when we look at how the technocrats have labeled their investment strategy, because their investment strategy is moving towards AI, and what's powering the AI are superconductors, they're classifying their investments under two categories. One is melanin, two is blood. So this dismantles the lie that's being perpetuated in the alternative media that they're coming to kill Caucasians, because that is all they keep saying. They're coming to kill Caucasians, they're coming to kill Caucasians. But when we look at their actual investment strategy, we see the group with the highest amount of eumelanin is the dark brown people at 78%. Okay, this is another lie peddled by the Decepticons in the media. Will Caucasians be included? Absolutely, because we see here Caucasians have 25% melanin that they can extract from the body and then use to power their semiconductors. Now, just remember that the brain is coated in melanin. So the AI super intelligence that they want would 9 times out of 10 would be the melanin that coats the brain. Press 1 if you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Press 1 if you understand English. Okay. Okay, great. So I just did a quick search here. They said that the brain is less than 1% melanin. I'm not buying it because I believe for them to achieve AI super intelligence, in my opinion, I think they're going for neuromelanin to bring the AI to super intelligence, right? So these wolves in the alternative community, the wolves, the Decepticon wolves in the alternative media are crying day in and day out, they're coming to kill whites. That is all they say. Nobody else is getting exterminated. They're coming to kill whites. And when we look at the investment strategy of the billionaires, we can clearly see that that may not be the case. What we're seeing is that they may have a 3-tiered system, genocide system. Okay, if we're going strictly on melanin to be used in the semiconductors. We see again the white race at 25, we see again the brown race at 74, and then we see the dark brown people at 78%. Okay, we can we went over that. We also went over, and I showed you guys the actual facts, not hysteria, not conjecture, but facts. Proving once again that the people in the so-called alternative media who are said to be on the side of the human race are liars and Decepticons and put there to divide the human race and cause chaos. This is not about I am pro-black or I am pro-white or I'm like Candace Owens or I hate the Jews. This is about facts and how the billionaires make their decisions. The decisions by the billionaire is moving towards AI, and the AI is powered by semiconductors. And Trump also told them they could use whatever they want as fuel for the energy plants. I gave you guys the speech where Trump told the investors to build the power plants next to the AI plant, and he told them, fuel it with whatever you want. Simultaneously, as he did that, Trump released the ICE agents to snatch people up. Native Americans are being snatched up. Veterans are being snatched up. Americans who are naturalized are being snatched off the streets. Schools are being raided. People are being snatched up all over the United States and removed. And Trump, in his own words, said to the investors, when you build the energy plant, fuel it with whatever you want. Those are not my words. Those are his words. Okay. I also showed you that the group that's invested in semiconductors are also the same group that's invested in Trump's AI power plant. The same group that's invested in semiconductors. The other word for semiconductors are melanin conductors. That is what we need to call it. Okay, so no longer will we use semiconductors, we're going to use melanin conductors. So the same big corporations that are invested in melanin conductors for the AI plant in Abilene, Texas, that Trump is rolling out, it's the same group that's invested in semiconductors, aka melanin conductors. Once again, proving that the Decepticons put in the media, the alternative media, are liars. Let's continue. Okay. So we spoke about Japan, SoftBank, Oracle, OpenAI, ARM, Microsoft, NVIDIA. Now, we've started to go into Trump's plan. How does Trump intend to change the energy grid of the United States? How does Trump intend, and I'm using Trump's own words, I showed you the video, how does Trump intend to get AI plants in all 50 states? Trump, in his own words, said that he has to use the Emergency Powers Act. Does any American here know how and when you can use the Emergency Power Act? Can you, here's my question, can you just use the Emergency Powers Act? Yes or no? Can you just say, hey, I'm the president of the United States, this is an emergency, get this done? Is that how the Emergency Powers Act is structured? I'll wait. No. Well done. Well done. Linda, thank you. National security. Exactly. Patrick Dix, you went straight to the answer. The Emergency Powers Act can only be used in a national emergency. Okay. How does one use the Emergency Act and in a national emergency? Thank you, Linda. There has to be a declaration of a security threat against the Union. A hurricane hit in Florida, President Trump cannot declare the Emergency Powers Act over the Union because that's one state. A tornado hitting Kansas, President Trump cannot use the Emergency Powers Act because that's one state. A fire burning down California, President Trump cannot use the Emergency Powers Act because that's one state. It means that there has to be an active threat in all 50 states. And then President Trump can declare an emergency. Can anyone give me an example of an emergency where Trump can impose the Emergency Powers Act and bring the country under AI domination? Harmful weapons. Well done. What else? It has to affect all 50 states. Martial law, alien invasion. Oh, yeah. Keep going. You got it. Got it. Keep going. Terrorism. That's the exactly. Keep going. Keep going. Aliens. We said aliens before. Keep going. What else can be done to shut down a country? A biological issue. Biological threat, chemical threat, nuclear threat, an invasion, weapons. You following? So it has to affect, or an act of terrorism, it has to affect all 50 states in order for Trump to use the Emergency Powers Act. Are you following? In Trump's own words, this is what he said. He said, I'm going to use the Emergency Powers Act, war with other countries, an airborne threat. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now here's the problem. Trump said in the video, when I roll out this AI super plant, I call it Serpent Cities. When I roll out the Serpent City, he said, I'm going to make sure that the regulators don't get in the way, because he said the regulators take too long. Here is why that's a problem. The overrule of regulations means that you forego environmental impacts. Do you understand this? There are reasons why there are regulations. For example, the building code in Florida says if you're building a house, you have to build it to hurricane standards. If you live in certain parts of Texas, you got to build it to specific wind standards. If you live close to water, you got to build it with regulations because you live close to water. How far are you from the water? How high up? How low down? Sea level. Regulations also affect materials. You following? The material standards used. Regulations also affect the environment. What is the effect of this upon human life, plant life, animal life, and ecological health risk? Regulators have to perform health risk assessments. This is why regulations take so long. But Trump, in his own words, said, scratch all that. And this is not the first time he's done this. He did the same thing with the quack, 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 quack. And this AI Serpent City will be a quack, quack, quack city. And he's saying, forget the regulations. I'm going to get it done. Okay, let me just show you really quickly here. Okay. This is just a human risk assessment. And this is a small part of what regulators do. Okay. I'll read it really quickly because we have a lot of substance to cover. The difference between me and the wolves, the Decepticon wolves, is that they stir the American people up into a frenzy and continuously get the American people to act against their interest and they always end up getting harmed. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get Americans to calm down and think. That is what I'm attempting to do. I do not have algorithmic dominance. You're following? So these alternative media, and not all of them, 99% of them are stirring up the American public against the migrants. And I'm going to show the American public why that is an inroad for their destruction. And what they're doing is that they put a label of white Christian patriots. I'm not against whites. I'm not against Christians. I'm not against patriots. What I'm showing you is that the Decepticons have weaponized this and stirring whites up into a frenzy. And I'm trying to explain to white people and other American people, this is an inroad that will destroy you long term. And the difference between me and them is I'm going to bring you the statistical facts, just like I brought you the actual crime statistics, not propaganda, not just 6 o'clock news propaganda, not what social media pushes to the top, but actual crime statistics going back 20 years. Okay? A human health risk assessment is a process to estimate the nature and probability of adverse health effects in humans who may be exposed to chemicals in contaminated environmental media now or in the future. But it's a health risk assessment. And that is one of the things that he is going to forego to build these cities. And he's saying that they have to do this to compete with China. Why can't you do both? Why can't you do your health risk assessment while saying that you're going to compete? No, he wants all regulations governing this, just like he did with the vaccines, to be dismantled and removed so that it's rolled out. And once it's rolled out, there's no going back. Need I remind you, his vice president is heavily invested in mRNA. And that is the main type of vaccine that will be in his serpent cities. Linda, that's a very good point. Okay? This is a mass weaponization. And what they're using is they're trying to appeal to white people's skin color and using white Christian patriots as a weapon against non-whites, non-Christian, and allegedly non-patriots. That is what he's doing. And I'm here to try to bring some sanity to white people and to Christians and to patriots. And I'm telling them, stop and think. And I will show them. Okay? So this is one of the assessments that's done in order to roll out big projects. And this is just a human health assessment. Okay? The planning and scoping, the hazard. He's foregoing this, where the AI and building such a large AI city would have a hazardous effect to the people of Abilene. Dose response, exposure assessment, risk characterization, foregoing all the regulators in order to push this forward. So, and once it goes forward, there's no turning back. So that's minus the other risk assessments, such as the effects on plants, animals, ecological systems. Building constructions, how the building is constructed, okay? Where it's constructed, the impact on the community. There's a reason why there's regulations. And I'm not saying all regulations are good, but I'm saying there are actual good regulations. I am not saying all government regulations are good. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there are core regulations that are needed to protect the public, and he's foregoing all of it. This is his words. Okay, here's the part that concerns me most as a victim of government experimentation and someone who is owed tons of money by the US government. And the US government refuses to pay. In their own words, the US government said, yes, we used you as a lab rat to conduct and to build this system, which is technology in the body, hooking you up to satellite, tracking and tracing you, and building out the infrastructure, and then trafficking you to the four corners of the earth, then using my body for prison to testing the New World Order prison system with torture. If we don't like what you say, we're just going to torture you at the push of a button. Okay? If you don't like the direction you're going in, we're just going to torture you. So I know the system that they're building. None of these Decepticon media who have the algorithm and are making millions of dollars off of the white Christian patriot movement, none of them can tell you where this is headed. I can, because I'm the one they tested it on. And the US government said, yes, we used you as a lab rat. Yes, we're making tons of money off of you. Yes, we owe you money, but they refuse to pay. If people think that they're going to be immune to this, when these AI cities are built, you are delusional. Okay? All right. So when you use the Emergency Powers Act, this is the main thing I want you guys to know, is that it overrides human experimentation laws. And the reason why I can say this is because when they rolled out the COVID vaccine, they used the Emergency Powers Act to do so. And Trump said, I'm going to get rid of the regulations, bring it to the forefront. Now, here's the issue with that. There are human experimentation laws for a reason. Things must be tested before you roll it out on the human population. This is a major part of what is going to be overlooked when you roll out a giant serpent city with 24/7 mass vaccination. Okay? Like I said, the emergency declaration will override human experimentation laws. And I can tell you with certainty that human experimentation laws have been dismantled as of 2020 when the vaccination was rolled out, because it was rolled out under an emergency. This is terrifying. It overrides regulations that protect ecological systems. The third issue that I have with Trump and his serpent cities is that Trump said you can fuel these cities with anything you want. Let me make something clear. AI data centers do produce radiation. Let me show you something else about this supermolecule, which is now classified as technology. The supermolecule now classified as technology, melanin. Watch this, and why they will use melanin. Melanin-rich fungi found at Chernobyl exhibit unique properties that allow them to thrive in high radiation environments. This is the reason why they want to use melanin, because the melanin can absorb the radiation. As a dark brown person, I go through extreme forms of radiation. I'm being tortured today, right now as we speak. But because I'm very dark, my body can absorb a massive amount of radiation at a slower rate. They have been torturing me for over 10 years and I have not developed cancer. This is why my body is worth so much to the US government. It is going to be a field day. It is going to be the Wild West on people. Let me make something clear. Now, they're going to lie and say, well, there's synthetic melanin. The researchers, the technocrats, said synthetic melanin does not work the same as organic melanin. Okay? It is going to be a field day on the human race. And I'm going to show you. Okay? So you need to understand melanin and radiation, because darker skinned people break down radiation at a slower pace, what inhibits radiation from growing exponentially is melanin. And this is what the billionaires are saying, not some Decepticon in the social media landscape that's saying they're supreme. This is how these billionaires are making their decisions, and they got the scientists to give them the hardcore facts. I'm not the one saying it, it's them. So they know there's a direct correlation between melanin and radiation absorption. I have been radiated every single day for over 10 years and have not developed cancer. Why? Because I'm extremely dark. Melanin. So what do you think is going to happen to people? The second component to the AI serpent cities is blood. Now, I don't know what they're looking for in the blood. They claim it's to cure cancer, and they claim it's a cure. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So there is something in the blood they're looking for. So those who don't have a high percentage of melanin, you still have blood. So don't think, oh, I don't have melanin, so hey, they're not coming to get me. Do you have blood flowing through your veins? Yeah. Then you will be susceptible. Okay? So we explained that Trump wants the AI electrical grid to be near the AI plants. And like I said, he told them, use whatever form of energy you want. Why would you tell people, I'm going to get rid of the regulators, no one is going to come to watch you build it? Then he releases ICE, who are snatching up people left and right, including veterans. The white Christian patriot movement, oh, we support our veterans. ICE is snatching up veterans. Not a peep from one of them. ICE is snatching up veterans. Not a peep from these people. Okay? All right. So the other fallacy is that they tell you the human body is electric. No, the human body is electromagnetic. And one of the main components is in mind control is magnetism. So be aware of the electromagnetic component to your body and what an AI serpent center will do to your body, because your body is electromagnetic. Under 2019, I noticed there was a mass disappearance of Americans from off the surface. And I don't think it has anything to do with the invisible virus, right? There's something I wanted to show you here before I get to this here. Let me go back. Now, I want us to get to this part here, because we need to dismantle these lies by these white patriot, Christian patriot Decepticons. Okay? The liars in the white patriot Decepticon movement who are lying to white people and telling them that the immigrant boogeyman is coming to take their jobs. I'm going to show you the US economy statistics. Okay? And the reason why Trump is doing this is because the Decepticon media, the Decepticon alternative media, the damned, have been pushing white extermination and white replacement. I am going to show you facts. I am not anti-white. I am doing this so white people will calm down and think. Are the majority of them going to calm down and think? No. Because when these politicians whip people into mind control frenzy, worst of all, when they whip them into an AI electromagnetic frenzy, and they tell them That's your enemy over there. It's very difficult to get people to calm down and think. But I'm doing this so that level-headed Americans can calm the fuck down and think and understand that 99% of these people in the alternative media are Decepticons who are bought and paid for and put there to lie to you, to make you believe that the brown boogeyman and the black boogeyman and the Latino boogeyman and the Muslim boogeyman are out to get you. Let us look at what we're going to look at now is migrants and the US economy. We're looking at sectors, not all the sectors, but I only chose sectors of the economy where there's a large immigrant or migrant population within that sector. The fact is, don't forget, I am trained to research. Never forget, not that I use it, but I am trained to research. Not only that, I was trained to write business papers. And I'm also trained to write business papers that aided people in getting tens of millions of dollars. I do not use it for myself, but this is what I'm trained to do. And I successfully got several people, millions, this was years ago, in funding. And I was also brought to the UN to work in the legal department for the entire organization. I don't talk about it, but this is what I did. When I was in university, and we had to hand in very complex research papers, all my research papers was A or A pluses. Every last one. Okay? I'm just giving you a bit of my background. I don't use it. I don't do business research. I don't do research, but I'm trained to do it. I was also trained to use Excel. I'm trained to use Excel for finance as well as regular Excel. Okay? So I'm giving you a bit of my background. So, because if anyone comes in and says, well, what authority do you have to, because we're going into a society where people are not allowed to use their critical thinking skills, you have to have an expert. I just have to give a little bit of my background as to what I'm capable of doing. Not that I give a damn because I don't use it, but just to let people know that I'm trained to do these things. Not only that, I'm also trained in doing government research, which is highly complex. I don't use it, but I'm trained to do it. Okay? And when I worked at the UN, I had a level 3 clearance, but they put me in a level 7 clearance. Level 7 of my department was for, they just totally wiped my mind. They just totally wiped my fucking mind. Diplomats. And when I was at the UN, not only was I given diplomatic clearance, I was given diplomatic level security. So I'm not just some fly-by-night person. I don't talk about it, but this is my background. When I was at the UN, I had the ear of President Obama. I can go into a lot. I could tell you guys a lot of things, but I'm not going to go here, there, because it is irrelevant. What I am trying to do is I'm attempting to get white people to calm the fuck down. and understand they are being manipulated against their best interest. They are being manipulated, stirred up in a frenzy. And I believe the end goal is what they're after by using this strategy is to get sectors of the economy little by little. And when the dust settles, they control large sectors of the economy and it will be given over to billionaires. That is what I think the end goal is. And the reason why they're telling the American people the issue is migrants is because migrants are the lowest rung of the totem pole. I am not saying don't deport anyone. I am not saying don't deport criminals. I am not saying support crime. I never said any of those things. What I am telling you is behind what they're telling you is a plan to get sectors of the economy that are controlled by various groups and handed over to the billionaires. That is a strategy. That is the strategy. And the place that Trump is told to start is with the weakest link in the chain, migrants. Do I agree with Democrats opening the border and flooding it? Hell no. Do I agree with migrants committing crimes and disrespecting Americans? No. But did you forget, America, that I actually studied your crime rates before the migrants? You realize you had crime before the migrants, right? Now, all of a sudden, migrant crime is worse than domestic crime. Crime is fucking crime. Rape is rape. Murder is murder. And they're all goddamn wrong. Flooding a person's border is wrong because you don't know who's coming in. But at the same time, the media stirring up a demographic of the US population to attack these people so that the billionaires could get those sectors. That's problematic. Bingo, peace and love. Bingo, that's where I'm going with this. So let me just say this disclaimer because I know people are stupid, not you guys. Because I know people are simple and they're going to say, well, you're advocating crime. Jesua, welcome. Well, you're advocating bullshit. I'm against crime. I'm against open borders. But I'm also against billionaire strategies to get a foothold, an even greater foothold into the US economy by using the weakest link in the chain. I am not fucking stupid, okay? I see what's going on here. Let's continue. So what I did is I want to show Americans hardcore facts, not bullshit, not propaganda. Facts. And what I did is I looked at the US economy in terms of race. I looked at the economy in terms of native born versus immigrants. Let's look at the facts. So the areas in which migrants or immigrants work are construction, agriculture, transportation and warehousing, and professional services and tech industry. So construction, agriculture, transportation and warehousing, and professional services. In the United States, the Caucasian race or white, I'm just using that as a terminology, control 52.9% of the construction in the United States. Wait, hold on. That accounts for more than half. I thought that the migrants are coming to get you. It's on the screen. Let me show you the actual statistics. Hopefully, they didn't switch it. Okay, here we go. All right, they did switch it, but whatever. They changed these things, but they did switch it, okay? But they increased the number. According to recent, oh, okay, down here, this is the data I used. Okay. Oh, yeah, because I used it from the construction worker demographic in the US, okay? So let's go and look at the site here. I want you guys to see facts, not lies. American Caucasian, American Black people, calm the fuck down. You are being used. Calm down. You are being used. And it is a plan that will end in your destruction. Calm down and think logically. Stop letting these bought and paid for Decepticons lie and tell you, point you to the migrants and point you to the immigrants and tell you they're the enemies. I will show you the facts on the ground. Okay? Here we see that the most common ethnicity of construction workers are white at 53%. 53% is more than half. So how are Hispanic and Blacks and whatever coming to take over? Oh, it's white annihilation at 53% of the construction industry. You're being lied to. Does everyone see the facts on the screen? Does everyone see the facts on the screen? AJ, they would be classified under immigrants. Let's continue. Okay. Does everyone see the facts on the screen? Does everyone see that Caucasians control the majority of the construction industry? So how are they coming to replace you? When you control the majority of the construction industry, you're being lied to. How is it white annihilation when you control 53% of the construction industry? You're being lied to, people. Hispanic or Latino is 27.7% of the construction industry. Black or African Americans is at 11.1%. And then the unknown is at 4%. So AJ, to answer your question about Indians and Asians, they would fall into 4%. They're coming to tell you it's an LGBTQ takeover. These Decepticons that are fueling and are stirring up the white Caucasian hive into thinking the LGBTQ are coming to get you. LGBTQ in construction is at 2%. Their birth rate population, I'm going to get into that, AJ. They're coming to tell you the gays are coming to take everything from you. Ah! It's at 2%. It's at 2%. And this is from construction worker demographics. This is actually from the people in the industry. The gays are coming to get you. It's at 2%. Let's continue. I showed you blacks in construction, which is at 11%, Latinos at 27%. Okay, let's get to whites in agriculture. Okay, in terms of farmland, they're coming to get you. The Negroes and the Brownies and the Asians. And I don't know what else. They're coming to replace this white genocide. Let's get to actual farmland. And this has been like this for 200 years. This statistic has been like this for 200 Years. According to the latest USDA data, approximately 95% of farmers in the United States are white. .3% Hispanic or Latino. This is owning farms. Owning farms. The Mexicans are coming and get your farms and run away with the oranges. I believe you because they're being programmed by the Decepticons in the media, and this is why I'm trying to show Americans facts. I know you're telling the truth. 3.3% are Hispanic or Latino. The Mexicans are coming to take your farms and run away with your apples. 3.3% are Latinos. 1.7% are American Indian or Alaskan. And the lowest farmers are Black people. But if you listen to the media and you listen to Trump, they're coming against you. It's white replacement and genocide. 95% of US farmers are white, and this number has been like this for 200 years. Sorry, 100 years, 100 plus years. Facts over lies. White America, you're being hived, they are manipulating you, and they're draining your money. They're whipping you up into a frenzy to commit crude acts against people who are just trying to live. Facts over hive mind programming, and they're taking your money while they're lying to you. These are the facts. 95% of farmers in the United States who own the farms are white. If there's anybody coming to take it, it is not Africans, it is not Mexicans, it is not Latino, it is corporations or the US government. Let's continue. Okay, so these are farm owners, right? So we looked at the statistics for farm owners for Blacks. We looked at the statistics for farm owners for Latinos. Let's look at statistics for agriculture workers, the people who work in the agricultural sector. Okay, why is this important? Because people, Americans, white Americans, you are going to destroy your agricultural sector. And there is a plan. They're going to use you to destroy your agricultural sector and take the market. White people, they are whipping you up into a frenzy, telling you this is Trump and his people, and then the Republicans, and then the Democrats. They're whipping you up into an uncontrolled frenzy so that when the agricultural sector collapses because you don't have a labor force, the tech companies will be there to take the market share. You don't understand. They are using these people to tell you lies so that the corporations can get the farms. Why? Renetta, you're talking garbage. Let me show you what I'm saying. They're telling you that these illegal immigrants are here and they're coming to get you and turn the country brown, and it's white genocide, which is all lies. But look at the actual data. The labor force in the agricultural sector According to the data for National Center for Farm Worker Health, around 78% of the agriculture workers in the United States are Hispanic or Latino. White Americans, if you got these people, who's going to do this job? Do you understand that if you got these people, the price of your food is going to skyrocket? Do you understand that if you got and removed these people, 78%, because that's who's going to get rounded up and removed. The tech companies now, the white, listen to me, white America. Let's use reason. Many of you believe you have superior intelligence. Now I want you to put your superior thinking caps on. If you remove these people, which Trump is doing, and there's 78% that pick your fruits and vegetables and do the menial labor, white farmers who own 95% of the farms is going to go bankrupt. Do you want to know who's going to get the farmland? Do you think it's an immigrant from Africa that's going to get that farmland? Do you think it's an immigrant from Asia who's going to get that farmland? 95% of the farmland is owned by whites. Trump is telling you the problem are these immigrants. We got to get rid of them. And he sent out ICE to get them. But 78% of the people who do the agriculture work are Hispanic on land that is 95% white owned. When Trump removes them, do you know what's going to happen to your farmland, white people? The majority of your farmland, your farmers are going to go bankrupt and sell their farmland. Do you know who they're going to sell it to? They're going to sell it to Trump's friends, bankers. It's on the screen. Is anyone in the Decepticon white Christian patriot movement that are lying to you and telling you it's white genocide, showing you these hard facts? No. If 95% of the farmland is owned by whites, with 78% agriculture workers being Latino and Hispanic, and Trump is sending ICE to remove them, that means that a large sector of white farmland will go bankrupt. You want to know who's going to buy the farmland? Trump's friends, bankers. It's right there. You think it's the poor migrant African who's going to buy the farmland? Or the poor Latino from Latin America that's going to buy it? Or the poor Muslim from the Middle East that's going to buy it? No, it's going to be Trump's friends, the bankers. Let's continue. So we just covered construction. We covered farm workers and farm owners. These are all American statistics. Let's look at transportation. Transportation is a major sector in the United States. It's now one of the biggest sectors of the United States economy after tech industry, because America has a motto: you got to keep goods rolling. Okay. So we're looking at the percentage of by race and by immigration versus non-immigration status in the transportation sectors in the United States. Okay. Okay, so here we are with more facts. According to available data, 40% of the people employed in the transportation sector of the United States are white. 40%. a white. Okay, Renetta, that leaves 60%. 40% are white. Let's break down the major demographic. Okay? This makes them, look at what the statistics say, who the largest sector. The difference between me and them is I bring you facts. And what I'm attempting to do is I'm attempting to stop a racial mob, which is what Trump is engineering. I am not stupid. I see where this is going. I am attempting to stop a white mob from killing non-whites. Because in the end, the predators are waiting for the blood. And when the white mob goes to kill the non-white mob, the predator gets all. Let me say that again, Caucasian people, because I know Black people are saying, hey, why are you speaking to the Caucasians more than you speaking to Black people? Because Trump is engineering them to become a racist mob. We had mobs in this country who were programmed by the media, and they went around burning and lynching and killing. That is what they're engineering people to do. And that is what I'm attempting to stop with facts. Not bullshit. Not baseless claims. Facts. That 40% in transportation means that white is the largest group in the industry. Wait, hold on. You're trying to tell me that whites control the transportation industry? But I thought the boogeyman was coming to get you. I thought the black boogeyman was coming to run away with the wheels on your truck. I thought the Arab boogeyman and the Latino boogeyman were coming to run away with your steering wheel. Whites constitute the largest group in the transportation industry. More lies, they told you. Let's continue. Blacks in the transportation industry are 20%. Hold on. Okay. Wait, hold on. I thought all black people were criminals. Blacks in the transportation industry are 20%. 5% greater than the black population. When you deal in facts, you dispel lies. These are facts. Let's continue. I am attempting to stop race wars and a racial mob that's being engineered out of Washington. They want whites going around burning and killing and murdering non-whites. And let me tell you, the plan is for the predators to come in and take it all. Let me say it again. What they are doing is that they're programming whites to believe that they are no longer in control of large swaths of the US economy, so that they can do the same race mobs that was in the United States less than 50 years ago. And then the predator class sits back in the middle of the chaos and take it all. Let's continue. Latinos in the transportation industry, there are 21%. Here are the statistics. This is the first time I've seen my chat this quiet. You guys look shocked as hell. I'll wait for your comments. Leave your comments. I'm not going to move forward until you leave a comment. You look shocked because you know where this is going. They are trying to engineer race riots. where mobs of whites go around killing and murdering blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, Asians, Indians. That is what they're doing. That is what Trump is doing. That is what the sycophants in the alternative media, the Decepticon alternative media are trying to engineer. And here I am, bringing you facts. White people still control the largest industries in the United States. And it's still, some of these industries are over 100 years and haven't split a percent. Okay? These are facts. Trump and his mob, wants race wars. These are predators. You people don't think like them. I used to be around the richest people on earth. And I had a rule. I'll be around you. I'll party with you. I said, but I understood how they think. When it comes to business, they think like predators. What they are attempting to do is they want whites to create mobs like they did just less than 60 years ago, going around burning down communities. That is what they're programming whites to do, and I see it coming. And I'm here to show you, you still control the largest sector of the US economy. The only difference is white people. When the dust settles, the predator class will get it, and your white ass will be put on a terrorist watch list. Because that's what they're planning. Because the predator class wants white people to go around burning down black communities, ratting out immigrants, rounding them up, bombing cities, doing this shit, making them believe that whites do not control the economy. And then when the dust settles, the whites will be on federal terrorist watch list, and the predator class now gets the market share. You people don't understand how these people think. I do. Let's continue. Okay, so we get to professional services, right? I'm going to blow through this really quickly. (2021) professional services. 42.8% of people working in professional services in the United States were white. This constitutes the largest sector in professional services. Whites. Whites. Not blacks, not immigrants, not Latinos, not Muslims, whites. But the predator class, they want whites to believe you're being replaced and they're coming to kill you. And it's LGBTQ that's coming to kill you. And then the whites go into a frenzy because of the Decepticons who are lying and telling you white genocide. And you take up arms to go kill the Latino and the blacks and the this and the that. And then the feds are there to put you on a terrorist watch list. And the predators come and get the market share. You people don't understand how these people think. And the people who will get the market share are Trump's friends. Let's continue. I'm going to blow through the statistics. Okay, blacks in professional services, 10%. Latinos in professional services are 10%, which constitutes whites as the majority in the industry. Let's get to the tech industry because this is the biggest of them all. Oh, look, America. Look who controls the tech industry. Look who has the largest sector in the tech industry. United States Census Bureau. White Americans constitute the majority of 332 million people living in the United States, with 71% of the population, 61% white alone. Why did they do this? Okay, hold on. No, in America. Okay, sorry. Let me backtrack here. That was a mistake. Hold on. In tech industry. Why did they get rid? I think I doubled this or something. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. So according to recent reports, that's a mistake. 63% of employees in the US tech industry are white American. 63%. 63% are white Americans. Not Indians from India. Not Chinese. Not LGBTQ. White. But they're coming to replace us. It's white genocide. 63%. Facts. Okay, let me just go back here. Tech. Okay, yeah, I did have it, 63%. So that was just a mistake. 8% are Black. Okay, let's look at immigrants. Okay, so we're going to do now we're going to start versus the immigrant versus non-immigrant. This is only American data. Let me say that again. This is only American data. Immigrants in the tech industry. Let's look at the statistics. 2023, 2 years ago. Immigrants, hold on. Immigrants made up 14.3. So let's say 15%. I know it's under 5, but I'm going to round it up to 15% anyway. Immigrants made up 15% of the US population. Why? Hold on. I think they're messing with my data here. They're messing with my goddamn data. They're messing with my data. This is why I should screenshot everything. Fucking people. They just mess with my data totally. Okay, so 19%. Okay, 2023 immigrant. You know what? You know how they mess up my shit, right? They go in and they just switch up everything and then block stuff from working. Okay, so immigrants made up 19% of the US civilian labor force, which includes STEM workers. Okay, hold on. That's not the data I was looking for. These people are just fucking up my data. I'm sorry, tech industry. They just gave me immigrant data, and I was like, they just erased my fucking data, bastards. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't want to screenshot it, right? Immigrants in tech industry. Hold on. In US tech industry. These people. 1 second, okay? You know how they do with my data to make me look like an idiot, right? Because I'm not screenshotting it. Okay. Okay, great. Here we go. Okay, so foreign-born workers. It's 19%. In science, technology, engineering, and math. Science, technology, engineering, and math, which means 81% of STEM is American-born. Okay. It's right there on the screen. Do you know how much work it's going to take for immigrants to get that up to 50%? You think you could get that up to 50% in 5-10 years? No way. Okay. 79. I mean, 81. Okay. You're following. 19% is foreign-born workers, which means 81% is American. They didn't show you this in the media now, did they? You see how they're lying to you, white Americans? It's right there. Facts over lies. Okay. All right. So tech industry, this has to change. Immigrants, this should be at 19, and this should be at 81. Okay. So that means 81% are native born in the tech industry. Americans dominate the tech industry. It's right there. Mind you, the feds are going in and messing with my links because I didn't screenshot it because I didn't want to use screenshot, but that's okay. Right? So let's do immigrants in construction versus native born in construction. Okay. Oh, this link, I think this is the right link here. All right, I'm going to have to make this bigger. Okay, so let's do immigrant versus native born. 30% of workers in the US construction industry are immigrants, which means 70% are native born Americans. Americans dominate. Native born Americans dominate the construction industry at 70% over immigrants. Is anyone showing you this? I'm going to blow through these stats because we got a lot more to cover. Okay, so that's construction. So we have construction at 30% for immigrants, native born Americans, 70%. The agricultural sector, immigrants are at 42, Native Americans, native born, not Native Americans, but people born in the United States is at 58%. Look, it's right there. You can go look it up. Immigrants and transportation is 21%. Native born Americans is 79%. Native born Americans dominate every single sector of the US economy, not immigrants. And they dominated by very high double digits. So how are they coming to take your market share? Let's get to professional services. Immigrants are at 5%. American born at 95%. Which means American born dominate professional services, dominate transportation, dominate agriculture, dominate construction, dominate tech industry. And this is by race. The rest is by race. You're being lied to, white America. You're being lied to. You're following? This is the difference between people who bring you facts and propagandists. See the difference? So this was some statistics I needed to show white Americans, to show them how the predator class are literally using weapons, sophisticated mind control, and hive AI to stir whites into frenzy with abject lies, because they want the immigrants removed. And when I say immigrants, I don't just mean people coming over the border. They want all the immigrants removed because the predator class wants that market share. They want the immigrants, who are 78% of the agricultural sector, as the lower end workers. They want them gone because they want the land that's 95% white owned. That hasn't changed in close to 200 years. You're being lied to. Okay, now, the Chinese robot army, the tech billionaire strategy, and the immigrant labor sectors. Let me show you why they're stirring you up with lies. Okay, robots to replace workers by 2030. According to various reports, robots and automation are expected to significantly impact the workforce by 2030. Do you see white people, why they want to stir you up in a frenzy to commit crimes? They're not showing you the actual government statistics. They want to stir you up into an ignorant frenzy so that you go out there and commit acts of violence thinking that they're coming to replace you. You're following? So that the predator class at the tech industry, the billionaires, can come in and get the market cap. They want the land. And in order to get the land out of 95% of white land owners, they want to gut the immigrants working at the lowest rung in the agricultural sector so that the white farmers go bankrupt and then the bankers come in and take the land. And you are walking right into their trap. You have no one to blame but yourself after I show you this statistic. Let me say this again. White people, after I show you these facts, you have no one to blame but yourself for walking into their trap. And if there are any Black people getting involved in this foolishness, I'm going to show you. Let me show you something. If there are any Black people involved in this stupidness, let me show you something. One report suggests that 1 in 5 workers, or approximately 20 million workers globally, could be replaced by robots. Now, do you understand why Elon Musk is the right hand of Trump? This is for my Black brothers and sisters. I chastise my white brothers and sisters. Hopefully, I brought you guys, I calmed you down a little bit, and I made you reason. Hopefully, I calmed you down from the government mind control and the hive mind control and the Decepticon mind control, where they're lying and they're saying it's white genocide. It's a damn lie. And they're coming to replace us. More lies. You can't replace percentages like that. You got to exterminate in order to change that demographic. When you're getting up to 70% of market cap controlled by white people, well, dominated by white people. Control is at the top. It's controlled by Jews. But I'm talking about in the middle, where it's white people. You cannot get rid of those numbers without extermination. Let me say it again. When you're looking at 70% in the middle is white people, you cannot change that without extermination. You're following? Let's continue. To my Black brothers and sisters in America, if you are involved in that foolishness with Trump, let me show you. In the United States, the displacement of workers are due to automation. It's also notable. For instance, McKinsey estimate not Blacks from Africa, not Latinos from Latin America, not Asian, and I'm not denying racism from anybody. I'm just saying, listen to what they're saying. Automation could displace 132,000 Black workers by 2030. Not Latinos, not Africans, not people from the Middle East. Automation. You know what that means? Technocrats. It means the billionaires are building shit to replace you. Not some poor migrant coming from Latin America and Africa. The billionaire technocrats are building systems to replace 132,000 Black workers in the US by 2030. Let's continue. Now, what is the strategy? Renata, what are you saying? You're saying Trump is not here to help us? No, that's exactly what I'm saying. But let me continue. Introduce robots. What is the plan? They want the people with the largest market cap. I'm not talking about the top. I'm talking about large sectors of the economy. As we saw, The large sectors of the economy is in the hands of whites. What the technocrats want is to get that out of their hands. And what they're doing is they're putting liars into the alternative media, all of them, to tell whites they're coming to get you, to tell blacks they're coming to get you, and I'm talking about Americans, so that white Americans, black Americans will turn on so-called immigrants on native land or whatever. Then have the feds designate them terrorists. And then when you got these sectors, by removing these immigrants who have maybe 10%, 20%, 30%, the tech, that leaves a large sectors in the US economy. The government is not going to let large sectors of the US economy fall. The government will then hand those sectors over to the technocrats, thereby introducing automation and robots. Those of you who rise up to fight the immigrants, you'll be in jail. The immigrants will be used for fuel in the serpent cities. And then the technocrats get those sectors. AI could replace 2.4 million jobs and influencing 11 million jobs by 2030. Let me say this again. Not immigrants from Latin America, not immigrants from Africa, not immigrants from the Caribbean. AI is going to replace 2.4 million jobs, and it's going to start influencing 11 million by 2030. Let me say that again. Not Latinos, not Africans, not Muslims, not Indians. AI and robots. Why? Because the technocrats want that market share. The technocrats want the sectors. They want the market share. You see that 52% that whites control in construction? The technocrats want that. So the technocrats are going to tell you, you see the blacks and the Latinos, they're coming to get that market share. That 52, that 53%. And then they're going to stir you up into a frenzy to attack them. And then the feds are going to put you on terrorist watch list. And then the technocrats get the 53%. You see the game? You see the 95% you have in agriculture as owners of the land? They're going to come and gut and remove the farm workers who are Latinos, 78%. 95% of the farms, about 90% are automatically going to go bankrupt. The technocrat, the bankers are going to take the land, the technocrats are going to move in. They get the 95%. You see the game? There's a reason why I ran away from these people. Because I realized, I said, these people don't think like humans. And they say it's just business. You see, it's just business when you're doing it. But when it happens to you, it's a tragedy. You see that 63% that whites have in the tech sector, the technocrats and the billionaires. What I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you this at work. The technocrats want that 63%. And in order to do that, they're going to tell you the blacks and the immigrants and the Latinos are coming to get it. You are going to commit crimes and violence, bomb cities, blow shit up. You're going to be put on terrorist watch lists. You're going to foreclose. You're going to abandon what you have. And the technocrats and the billionaires take it. It's called market share. Giving them an ever-increasing market capitalization. And they're using skin color to do it. Why are you so simple? You people claim to be super intelligent, but you can't see this. You claim to be high IQ, but can't see this play. Come on, people. I have half a brain, not you guys. You guys are smart. I'm talking about the people who constantly get played by these people. Okay, so the goal is to remove large immigrant population from the United States. Why? Because the technocrats got the automation and the robots. They have to get those robots in somehow. They spent billions to invest in automation, and they spent billions to invest in robots. And they have to get those robots somehow. So the strategy is, we're going to stir up the whites and tell them it's them. Meanwhile, we brought them in. We're going to stir up the whites and tell them it's them so that they attack them. We put the whites on terrorist watch list, and then we come in. We're going to decimate the sectors where the immigrants work in, and then we take over their sector. And then we get the automation in, and we get the robots in. You think they're just going to stop at migrants? White Caucasians. You think they're just going to stop at immigrants? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this strategy at play. They're going to leave 20% of the US economy wide open for takeover. When they decimate that migrant population in different sectors, they're at the lowest rung of sectors of the economy, and they constitute 20%. The US economy is $1 trillion economy. When they leave 20% of the US economy gutted from getting those migrants out of here, the US government is not going to let those sectors fall. It's going to be handed over to the billionaires. And the billionaires are going to use those now open sector to bring in the automation and the robots. Okay? They need to do it. They need a way to do it, and this is their strategy. Now, let me show you something else. Now, this is some of the ethical considerations I want you to look at, but there's something else I wanted to show you before we do this, okay? Let me show you this strategy. I want to show you the strategy that I told you that they are doing right in front of your face. I want to show you this strategy that they executed it under COVID. Okay. I'm going to show you that they executed this strategy under COVID. Billionaire wealth, US job losses, and pandemic profiteers. Okay, since the beginning of the pandemic, the Institute for Policy Studies, has tracked explosive growth in US billionaire wealth. While you were focused on those goddamn migrants and those damn immigrants that are coming to take our jobs, they tracked the explosive growth of billionaire wealth. Wait till you see whose wealth grew 20-fold. Wait. One of the most disturbing signs of inequality during a crisis that has devastated ordinary families. At the close of 2024, there were 813 billionaires in the United States with a combined wealth of 6.72 trillion. Let me ask you a question. In those 813 billionaires, of those 813 billionaires, were any of those migrants who came over the border from Africa? Were any of those migrants who came over from Latin America? Or the Middle East? Or India? Were any of those recent immigrants? Okay, watch this. The total number of billionaires has remained constant since the outlet published the 38th annual World's Billionaire List on April 2nd. But the combined wealth of nine-figure club increased by 1 trillion over the last 9 months. Okay, this is 2024. From 5.7 trillion at the beginning of April to 6.72 trillion at the end of 2024. You know who's been making bank off of you being locked down the most? Oh, look, your lovable neighborhood billionaire, Elon Musk. Jeff Bezos. Larry Ellison, who's now building your AI cities to get your blood, powered by melanin chips. Mark Zuckerberg and Larry Page. It gets worse. There are now 15 US billionaires worth more than 100 billion each. Their combined wealth totals 2.4 trillion. When Forbes started tracking wealth in 82, there were only 13 billionaires on the list of America's 400 wealthiest individuals. Dynastic families close, meaning family money, close 2024 huge pool of wealth. Walton, Mars, Koch, or Koch. Many top, you ready for this? You ready for this, white Americans? While they're telling you they're coming to take our jobs, let me show you who's actually taking them. Let me show you. Many top billionaires have seen their wealth surge since the COVID pandemic. You would think they planned it. And they're all surrounding Trump. Watch this. On March 18, 2020, Elon Musk's wealth valued under 25 billion. By the end of 2024, he's now worth 428 billion. How is this possible when you were locked down? But it's the migrants. It's the immigrants. They're coming to kill the white race. It's white annihilation. They're coming to kill us. Elon Musk's wealth increased by 20-fold under COVID. You would think they planned it. And they now all surround Trump. What do you think they're planning? If the same people who became billionaires under the COVID lockdowns when he was president are now in his cabinet again. Are you sure it's the migrants who are coming to take what you have? Are you sure it's the immigrants who are coming to take what you have? Under the COVID lockdown, their wealth surged when Trump was president, and every last one of them have surrounded him again. What do you think is coming? You would think they planned it. Let's continue. Jeff Bezos saw his wealth rise from 113 billion in 2020, double to 235 billion, December 2024. But I thought it was the migrants taking your job. I thought it was white genocide, according to the Decepticons. I thought it was replacement. Look at who is taking your wealth. And look at who is taking your job. And the man you voted for, they all surround him again. The Walton family, Jim, Alice, and Rob, saw their combined assets increase from 161 billion to 300 and double. 317 billion in September 13th, or triple. And they were there when Trump was president the last time, and they're there now. 801 US billionaires hold a combined wealth of 6.22 trillion. Okay. Now, I'm going to stop there. I might have to make a part 3. Hold on, let me stop presenting. I'm going to do a part 3 on Wednesday. Any questions? Come on. We got 15 minutes. Let me ask you first question, then I'm going to ask a question. Who is taking the jobs? Question number 1. Who is taking the jobs? Who are taking the jobs? Who's taking the jobs? I did not speak about about population decline. I said I will. I said I will. I said I will. And I said I'm going to do a part 3. That is not what today is about. Thank you, peace and love. Robots, AI, and corporations, tech billionaires. Is it your neighbor who speaks Spanish? Patrick Dix, I'll answer that. That's a great question. I'll answer you, but it's off topic. So I'd like questions that are on topic. Great question. Great question. Okay. Is it your neighbor who speaks Arabic? Is it your Muslim neighbor who's taking your jobs? Is it your gay neighbor who's taking your jobs? Is it your African neighbor who's taking your jobs? Okay. When you were locked down, was it your Latino neighbor when your house went bankrupt? Because you were locked down and you couldn't work, was it your Latino neighbor who foreclosed on your house under lockdowns because you couldn't work? Was it your Muslim neighbor who caused your house to foreclose? Was it your Chinese neighbor who caused your house to foreclose? Okay. Was it your African neighbor who caused your house to foreclose on the lockdowns? Okay. Did you become a billionaire when the country was forced to lock down? Did you become a billionaire? Did your neighbor become a billionaire? Did your Latino neighbor become a billionaire? Did your Muslim neighbor become a billionaire? Did the African neighbor become a billionaire? Did the Haitians become a billionaire? Because they love to attack Haitians. Okay. So who's getting rich? Who are actually the group? Everyone I'd like you, based upon the statistics you saw, which is government facts, who are the ones who are profiting from the chaos? Is it your neighbor who speaks Spanish? Your neighbor wearing a burqa? Your neighbor speaking, whatever, your African neighbor. Let me ask you a question. Have you seen any billionaire drop dead from the COVID vaccines? Have you seen any billionaire injured from the vaccines? Who's getting injured? Are Latinos being injured by the vaccines? Are Africans being injured by the vaccines? Are whites being injured by the vaccine? Are Americans being injured by the vaccine? Who's being injured by the vaccine? Is it the billionaires or is it the regular people? Did the vaccine say, I'm not going to injure the Haitian migrant? Did the vaccine say, I'm not going to injure the whites, I'm going to injure the blacks? Who's being injured according to government statistics? Who's being injured? Did you see Trump get injured from the vaccine? Did you see any member of Congress injured by the vaccine? Why are you attacking your neighbor? If your neighbor is not getting rich, if I have proven that your neighbors are not taking your jobs, if I have proven that LGBTQ, they're not taking your jobs, if I have proven that the Latinos are not taking your jobs, if I have proven the immigrants are not taking your job, who's taking your jobs, Americans? Who's taking it? Who's taking it, Americans? That's the final question. Who's taking your jobs? Who destroyed your businesses? Who's handing your wealth? So why do you hate your neighbors who are just trying to survive, just like you? Think about it. We're going to do a part 3 on Wednesday, ethical considerations. I want you to look at another set of statistics. Everyone, let me know, did you enjoy this? Did you enjoy this? Did this inform you in any way? Did this little bit of research educate you in any way? Thank you, peace and love. Kay Martin, thank you. Cindy, wonderful. Alex, Benjamin, thank you. Thank you. Are you seeing the reality? And this is not an attack on white people. White people, they're using you. That's all I'm saying. They're lying to you and they're using you. And the end goal is they got to use you to fight those on the lowest rung so that they can get that sector away from them and then automate it. And then they're going to start moving up. Baby or rest. That's where I'm going with this. You see the play? Yeah, that's why I'm doing ethical considerations. Part 3, I'm going to do on Wednesday. Ethical considerations for us to prepare. And that is why I'm going to introduce the next thing we're doing. You're following? They're using us to fight each other. That's the point. And the prize is to get the sectors of the economy controlled by whites. And that is why they're using whites, lying to them not showing them any statistics. That is why they're lying to whites, because whites have controlled in the middle. I'm not talking about the top. The top is controlled by Jews. I'm talking about in the middle. The majority of the US economy in the middle are controlled by whites, and that's the prize they want. So that's why they're lying to whites and telling them, you see those at the bottom? They're your enemies. So you got to get rid of them. Once you get rid of them, they come in and take it, and then they move up. The end goal is to get the sectors controlled by whites. But they're not going to start with whites. They're going to start with the migrants, then the immigrants, then Black Americans, and then they're going to move up to whites. You see the plan? You see the tactic? You know, that's why Jesus said, love your enemy. No, that came out the wrong way. No, don't love your enemy. These people are devils. That's why Jesus said, love your neighbor. Because if you're busy loving your neighbor, the wolf is not going to come in and get the sheep. You following? If the sheep unite and say, hey, motherfucker, you're a wolf. You're not going to turn me into lamb chops. The wolf would go hungry. But the wolf comes in dressed like one of the sheep and say, bah, I'm one of you. Hey, but you don't look like a sheep. You look like a wolf disguised as a sheep. You see Larry over there? He's not a real sheep. He came over the fence. And then the sheep goes, yeah, that Larry, that damn Larry, he did come over the fence. And then the two of you end up as lamb chops. That's the plan. Don't become lamb chops for the wolves. Huh? Don't become lamb chops for the wolves. There are sectors of the US economy that the wolves want. And the wolves are going to pit you to fight and kill each other so they can get it. And the main way they're doing this is using the Decepticon alternative media. Love you guys. Love each other. Be wise. I'll see you again on Wednesday or Thursday. Bye.